I have been, I'm going to say unofficially, we have been unofficially homeless for 8 months.
I don't really talk to women too much on this channel, but for this somewhat of a roast, I think I need to let y'all know the single most important decision that you're going to make in life. It's not where to go to college, not what to major in, not where to live after, if, and when you graduate. It's not. It's not. It's who you decide to give your womb to. You're supposed, listen, a pregnancy is supposed to be tied to resources. She's in this situation because she chose to have a child with a dude that wasn't productive, or he might have been productive, but he just didn't fool with her like that. Either way, she gave her womb, which is the only thing of value that a woman has. Period. At the end of the day. That's the only thing that's going to endear her to a man, and he's going to provide for her. The single most important thing, and I don't know, she crapped out on that. You only get one shot at that, y'all. That's it. One shot. Who you give your womb to, that's the ceiling for the man that you're going to get productivity wise. What he's doing at the time where you sleep with him is what he's going to be doing. If he's playing PlayStation, smoking weed, that's what he's going to be doing when you're pregnant by him. You're not going to be able to motivate him and get him to go to work. I remember, see, this channel, it's funny. This channel got launched because of a video she put out about MGTOW, saying, I remember, I'm just paraphrasing, that she could get a guy to go work in a warehouse and make $100,000 a year, whatever. You can't motivate a dude to do anything. That's number one. Number two, she ain't get pregnant by no $100,000 a year nigga. That's a lot. These women want to talk about, men ain't this, men ain't that. They want a guy making six figures, but they didn't give their womb to no cat making those six figures. They just didn't. And then they want it after the fact? No, doesn't make any sense. But what they do doesn't make any sense. A lot of what they do doesn't make any sense.
I think it was the end of 2015. I had asked family members in Houston. I'm back. I'm not in Houston, but I have moved back to the region. So, anyways, I asked family members, hey, my daughter I think she was like, 7, 8 years old at that time. I said, can y'all help me? All I needed, to me, in my opinion, all I needed was maybe a 3 month to 6 month break from paying bills, everything by myself, right?
Okay, here it goes. There's no accountability and expecting people or even having the nerve to ask people to help you with your bad decisions. There was no mention of where this child's father was. None whatsoever. None. Y'all know my story. I'm not gonna bore y'all with it right now. I don't feel like going there, taking myself there, but y'all know it. If y'all been following this channel, y'all know my story. So, and the fact that, if the dude that, knocked her up was productive, he would have provided for his child. There wouldn't have been no situation to where, you know, the kid was homeless. He could have let her be homeless, but, he could have taken the child. She could have asked him to take the child. But you know how that goes. She might not have done that. Like, even though, I wasn't living under the roof with my kid, that the fact that I've provided for my daughter, it goes into the fact that she drives a 2014. I drive a 2022, but her mother drives a 1994. And that was 4 years ago. So I don't know what she's driving now. If she's driving anything at all, that 94 is probably not working. If he was productive and he didn't want to produce, or he didn't produce for her, or he didn't want to produce for her, he would have produced for his child. So that really tells you she crapped out with that. But the mere fact that she didn't even mention it, dude, didn't even mention that he wasn't there to support, she didn't mention him at all. And then the fact that she's not taking accountability for that. You see that? They don't want to take accountability for the decisions that they make and the men that they choose. Maybe they don't realize how important their wound is to them. And it's like a crapshoot. A lot of you women roll up with snake eyes, man.
So 19 days into staying with this family member, I'm not kidding. 19 days. This family member told me within that period, within the first however many, I think she might have told me within the first 15 days that they were going to move and me and Caitlin were not welcome to move with them. I kid you not.
Hey, in my opinion, they weren't obligated to let her stay for those 19 days. Her and her child eating up food, lights, water, all that, 19 days. They didn't have, they had every right to say, we're moving and you ain't going with us, or you can't go with us, or we don't want you going with us. Why don't they have the right to say that? That's what gets me about people. That's why I'm not going to say I don't do anything for people, but people take things for granted. They could have said, no, you can't stay with us for those 19 days, which is what I would have said.
Fast forward, we move into the house. I hadn't been in an old house like that all my life. My grandmother had an older house. I knew the bills were intense, but I didn't know when you're in a really old house, it's not energy efficient. The windows and everything are not double panes. It's one extreme to the next, right?
Okay, this goes to show you why a man is needed. See, common sense will tell you that an older home, like the home I live in now, is 70 years old. I knew that everything had to, and nothing was done over in this house, the wiring, nothing. It still had the original, still got on the side, the original doors inside the house, and steel doors is what I got here. 800 square foot bungalow. I'm proud of it though. But yeah, nonetheless, I knew it was going to need work to be done to it. The second thing I did gutters first, then I did windows. Because I knew that it would need insulation. I knew that the windows were old and they hadn't been replaced since I was a little boy. If y'all know the story of it, where I'm living in this house, it's 71 years old. What lasts for 71 years, including humans, and doesn't have to have something twerked, something tweaked, something worked on, something removed? Come on now. Common sense would tell you got to do that, but then you got to be productive to be able to put money into the house. I dropped like close to 30 grand getting this house looking like something. So you got to have productivity there. That's why you need a productive man. It goes back to it. It goes back to choosing MFers that are not productive and then looking for somebody else to help you out and then being mad when they don't.
A lot of people didn't know and they couldn't understand that I had lost my driver's license. I had so many points that was taken off my driver's license at that point, and it was like, oh my gosh, I don't have my driver's license. Now I'm stuck in the house, right? Because now I can't just traditionally just drive everywhere, do all this stuff, and do all of these things like this. This was right after I was doing my little videos and taking my daughter to school and stuff, and it was just, it was stressful because it was like, okay, this situation could be worse. Then after I had that wreck or whatever, I was having to go to court for that stuff, and then I had to go to court and travel to Houston to do that, and then I started renting out that little space in the back.
I remember my boy George, not Culture Club, but my boy, his name was George. He came on, he said something one day, we were talking about something, he said, just like there's a bunch of loser niggas out here, there's a bunch of loser bitches out here. And that's exactly it right there. I hear a girl don't have a driver's license, that's like red flag. Single mom without a driver's license, like, first of all, you don't have money for a car, you don't have money for insurance, which translates to you don't have money. And then if your child gets sick or hurt, you don't even have the means to get them to the hospital. Likely, if you call an ambulance, you don't have health care because you don't have a decent enough job to pay you for a car or whatever your insurance issue was. That's the thing. There's always some issue behind. I hear a grown up don't have a license, a female. No, I'm not fooling with you. How could you help me? If I need you to pick me up from work or what? No, I work for myself. See, I don't need that. But if I need you to do anything car wise, well, you need a car to do it. Like right now, I need you to help me. You see, you're supposed to serve as a helpmeet. So how you going to be a helpmeet to me if you don't got transportation, if I need you to do something right then and there? So that tells me right there, nah. And then that going to court, that's another loser chick characteristic. Going to court, breaking the law. I hear that. See, they call them capias out here, not warrants. I hear a girl, yeah, I had a capias. I'll be like, yo, bitch, you a loser. Fuck you. I'm not fucking with you. But that's it right there. And yeah, loser chicks, man. It's a lot of them out here. And this right here goes into how dysfunctional they are. See, they're exposing themselves. This internet is a good thing. And it tells me, I was smart to just, yeah, I dropped my seed in the wrong woman. Yeah, that was okay. Just like for men, for women who they give their womb to, men who they give their seed to. I gave my seed to the wrong woman. I'll never live that down, but I won't not take accountability for it. Society won't let me do it. You understand that? It just won't let me do it. One thing I realized, though, was that I wasn't going to procreate my way out of this situation. There was no corrective measures. But I figured, if I tried to procreate myself out of this, I was only going to create more financial strain on myself. And I wouldn't be in a position to be in the position where I am now, to where I can save a lot of money and live good, live how I want to live anyway. I wouldn't be able to do that if I had an 11-year-old or a 16-year-old. Nah, I wouldn't be able to do that. So that was a good decision I made after I made the worst decision, which was dropping my seed off in the wrong woman. But it's also a testament to how their life just falls apart when they don't have a man that's an effective leader, a competent male that's able to lead and guide them. They can't lead and guide themselves. And then they got a child behind them that's looking to them for leadership, and they don't have a man to look to for leadership. That's the problem right there, man. But they don't want to address that, nor do they want to fix it.
Whether we continue because financially, fiscally, it makes more sense to have a roommate or have a parent or have a sister or a brother or a sibling or somebody that you can share the bills with. We didn't know COVID was coming.
I kind of alluded to this earlier. Living alone is better because if I lived any other way by myself, other than by myself, I should say, there's other people here turning on lights, running the water, flushing the toilet, making noise, causing me not to have function. I live in 867 square feet of space. It's big enough for my ego, my id, and my super ego. Those are the three people that can live in this house. My id, my ego, and my super ego. It's not big enough for nobody else. And then, see, that goes back into hypergamy. Now, see, I'm in a position right now where I could move her and her child in. Not that I would do that, but it's only 800 square feet of space here. If she met a guy that had, the house over there that I showed on this channel, the house with the brick, all the amenities, the brick, the hardwood floors, the finished basement, the patio, the deck, all that stuff. I showed that house. I'm talking about that house. If she met a dude with that house, she would, leave me for him. And even this, okay, she wouldn't be, even though she's in the position she's in, she would be content but not satisfied with 800 square feet of space. That wouldn't be enough for her and her child too. And me? No, and I was here first. They were trying to move me out, all their space, their stuff coming in. No. See, but then the hypergamy sets in. Oh, this place ain't big enough. Then she meets another dude that's got a house like the other house over there that I got, the house that my dad left. See, okay, we talked about productive men. My grandmother had a productive man. He left a house paid for. My mother got another productive man. He left a house that was paid for. That's nicer than this house. See, it's 800 square feet of space. The other house is 1,700 square feet of space. Now, suppose she meets somebody with I know somebody with a 5,000 square foot home. If she meets him, she's not going to know me. She's not going to appreciate the fact that I moved her into my 800 square foot home or my 17 square foot home. She's just not going to appreciate. She's going to go after the dude that has a 500 square foot home. But why would a dude with an 800 square foot home. Look for a woman to date that looks like her. Why? She's below average. I'm not going to, okay, we're all in unison in agreement that she's below average. Now, the degree or the depth below average she is, that's all subjective. Some people may say she's way below or barely at just above, just below average. There's different degrees to it, different layers to it. But she's definitely below average. I got 800 square feet. I wouldn't give that to her. She doesn't have enough sex appeal. I'm sorry. She doesn't. Not for me. And I got an 800 square foot home. If I had a 5,000 square foot home, come on, man. It's not, come on, man. Come on, man. But living by yourself is better than living with anybody else. Men, I'm talking to y'all now, you want to be in position to do that and to be that. You do. Because you don't want to be dependent on a woman because they can't live. You see what happens when they don't have effective leadership. And, I was given the ultimate insult the other day. Girl told me I look like a man that knows how to pay bills. That's not, I took it to be, I look like a competent man that's got his life together, which is what it is. But still, you looking at me like a beta male provider, and it's not going to be that. I'm not going to share my resources with these women. I ain't going to do it. I'm just not doing it. I'm building resources for myself to have for myself so that when I retire, I can live like I'm living now, period.
Y'all remember that car that I bought? That was horrible. That vehicle, y'all, look. Y'all know the situation with the license thing forced me to only be able to buy a car cash. So I bought a car cash, y'all, and the first sign that it was a bad deal was like one of the front lights, it had some sort of thing that holds the light, and it was busted. And so week 2 of me having a vehicle, I go out at night, I realize one of my lights don't work. So then I got to go and get that replaced. So I get that replaced. Then I had to spend $100, and then I had to also spend I don't remember exactly how much the light cost. I had to get the light. Then I had to pay $100 to get Jose to put the light in there. And then just from there, that car, y'all, it just started crumbling. It just started crumbling. You can go in the room with that because we can hear it way over here. You can do your homework in the room. Your backpack is right here. So anyways, that vehicle started just breaking down to the ground. But then the person that I was living with at the time, they realized, okay, you got your license and all that stuff straight down. I'm going to get up, I'm going to move and do me. But at the time, I didn't know that that vehicle was going to require me to put so much work into that vehicle, and more work and more work and more work.
See, I stopped buying cars for cash when I was, 27? I think I bought the last car I bought for cash. I bought $1,500, and I had the common sense to know once a car goes over 100,000 miles, you're on borrowed time with the car. I think this had it might have had 180. No, not that much, maybe 140, something like that. It had too many miles on it. And I knew it was going to go, and when it went, I was in position to go and finance a car, and I just never looked back. But still, I knew it. Just like any logical man's going to know, common sense going to tell you, a raggedy ass car, an old car is going to last less than an old house. Because cars in general don't last as long. So an old car is not going to last as long as an old house will last forever with the maintenance and stuff like that. So common sense will tell you that old cars are worse than old houses. And the reason why she had to get Jose to put the bulb in, why? She doesn't have a man. A competent man can definitely put a bulb in. What the fuck? Seriously. And that's about the decision making that you made when you gave your wound to a guy that, didn't care anything about you. But, that's a decision that you made that you don't want to be accountable for. And that's why I can't feel no sympathy for you women. And the fact that the roommate, that the person just up and left and said, okay, you got your life together, I got my life to get together, I'm out of here. You can't blame him for that, which is another reason why it's better not to have your life intertwined with somebody else. because if it happens to take a different direction, it affects you. Don't nothing affect me as far as direction. Nobody else's decisions are going to affect me if they decide to uproot and leave and move to go to California and do whatever. I don't care because you don't live with me.
And this is not an African American man, by the way. He telling me, yeah, my daughter, she want to move in. He flexing and stuff, and he done got the roof fixed and this fixed and that fixed, all on the dime of being consistent. Then my neighbor, he drops a bomb on me before I'm getting ready to leave, and he says, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Like I said, yeah, I'm getting ready to move. Like this situation is not conducive. It's not gonna work, unfortunately. And then he's never cooperating with the Texas rent relief people. Everybody getting their money. He didn't want me to get any extra money out of the Texas rent relief, which I wasn't gonna be getting anyways because I'm behind, right? So then my neighbor tells me, yeah, y'all were the longest people that was in the house. We were the longest people in the house. Yeah, man, it was people coming and going, and in and out of the house, in and out.
You notice he's not an African American male, and he's also in position to do things for his daughter, like I am in position to do things for mine. I wanted to, off topic, I wanted to buy an apartment, like it was a 2-unit building, 1 bedroom and 1 2-bedroom. And there was another one that was 2 1-bedroom units, but they were selling them both for $360,000. I don't qualify for that. I qualify for 180, but he wouldn't. They wouldn't. They sold them together. Somebody had the resources to see. It's layers to all this. Okay, if my resources was really quote unquote like that, I'd have been able to get both of them. I couldn't. I tried to get the one, but they weren't going to break the set. They got 195, but they were going for 180 a piece, but they went for 195 a piece, and I was just trying to qualify. I was trying to see if I get him to break the set. He wouldn't break the set, so and it didn't work out for me. But notice he's in position to do things for his daughter because he's a producer, obviously. See, and he fixed the house up because he was there. See, this is how dumb she is. Why would he not fix it up and make it how he would want to make it for his child? Because you can't fathom that because you chose a dude that ain't productive. You see? But you don't want to be accountable for that. But we trying to hold you accountable. See, if we hold these women accountable, but we got to hold ourselves accountable first, fellas. See, that's what we got to do. If we don't do that, all this other stuff that I'm talking can go out the window. You got to hold yourself accountable first, and then you can hold other people accountable. And I'm not trying to be all arrogant. I want to be humble. I hope this is coming off that I'm being somewhat humble because I realize I'm in a position in life that I'm in, not because of the decisions I made, just because of the family that I was born into. Remember that episode on the Cosby Show where Denise got her license and she was complaining that her mom was like, you got the money for the car, but you don't have money for gas, insurance, this, that, and the other. And she kind of got an attitude like, are we in America? Come on. And the mom was like, look, we've been serving as your safety net for so long. And she don't even realize that we're doing it. And that's what it is right here. I don't need to be arrogant and cocky because pride comes before the fall. Like right before I dropped my seed in the old girl, I was feeling really, really cocky. If you've been following this channel, I told a story about how I got caught at the airport with some like a pound of it. And my pop, rest in peace, was a policeman, high-ranking official in the town that I'm from, and made the charges just go away. Gone. They told me to go to court. I told the story. Told me to go to court 3 times. First time, come back. Second time, come back. Third time. I'm the first case on the docket. It's in Philly. First case on the docket because it was the Philly airport. First case on the docket. Bailiff comes from the back with a note, gives it to the judge. Judge takes his glasses off, wipes his eyes. He sighs in disgust. Now I know body language and stuff like that. It was disgust. And gaffles it down and erase the charges. Boom, I'm out of there. That was my get out of jail free card. The community chest one and the chance one. I knew not to do anything close to that stupid again. You know how I got caught? Instead of using saran wrap, I used Reynolds wrap and walked through the metal detector, and it went off. And at that moment, that's when I realized metal, metal, metal. I'm in trouble. And yeah. So I'm smart and I'm stupid at the same time. But that's how that shit went down. Now that I've never revealed on this channel. That's the first time right there. But what was I getting? I lost my train of thought. See, that's what happens when you talk about stuff you don't want to talk about. Hold on. Yeah, I remember. And see, I had relationships with teachers that I was cool with them like that. I remember telling a teacher what I was going through, a female teacher, a black teacher, African American studies teacher, telling her exactly what I was going through. I'm talking about with the charges and everything. And when I got off, I was so cocky, I felt like I did it myself. And she said to me, something's going to happen to you that's going to make you responsible for your actions. And I remember laughing it off. And I was, piping down Dirty Harriet, and I'm in the position that I'm in. And so pride comes before the fall. I'm not about to be arrogant because the Lord is the one that let me be in the position that I'm in, and he could take it away from me in the blink of an eye. So I'm not trying to come off like I'm not trying to come off as arrogant as I really am, because I'm a lot more arrogant than I'm trying to come off on this, especially doing this interview, doing this video, because I know, I'm just a second away from being homeless. Okay. All right. This house, the dryer is not hooked up right. Long story short, the ventilation could have caused the fire because it's like a blanket of lint back there. I got to get that dryer moved out of there. So that could have been, I couldn't have had nothing to live in because it could have been a fire that I could have died in. So that's how I know I'm truly blessed. So I'm not really taking credit for anything. I know I got a safety net that I don't even realize that they be doing for me what they be doing for me. So I don't look at it like it's me no more. But pride comes before the fall. So I'm trying to be humble because I could be just like this woman. Any of us could be just like this woman. Now, I just want to conclude on, there's a program that she didn't qualify for. See, for men, there is no program. Men, we got to be our own program. That's it. Oh, nah, she said she's still looking for love. No, she's not. She's looking for a man. We all know this. They're not going to love you like you think they're going to, or you want them to, or they should, or whatever. They're going to love you because you're able to better their situation. What you're able to do for them is what makes them love you. See, two things wrong with that. Like I said, she's only looking for somebody to get her out of that situation. She ain't looking for love. But what I'm saying is, when you try to date, look for women that have a lot of dysfunction, a lot of bullshit going on in their lives that they expect you to fix. Now, I want to end it on this note for real. She was actually, I didn't put it in this video, but there was a point where she talked about how she came across another single mother who had a daughter, and the fact that they were trying to lug everything that they had, all their possessions with them. Basically, they were novice homeless people, whereas they're, a little bit more of a seasoned veteran at it. But she thought it was funny. You know what I mean? Why would you laugh at somebody that's just starting a situation that you're in? Like that, see, and that kind of makes me like, I don't want to say glad she's in this situation, but makes it easier for me not to feel sorry for her, because you're making fun of people that are in the same situation as you. You ain't no better than them. That's the hypocrisy. That's how these women are, man. They don't really care about each other. So why do you care about them? But last and not least, women need us for survival. They may not want to admit it or not, but that girl's struggling because she doesn't have a man. Period.